I love just playing and singing music. I'll actually, even though I've come from a background of hard rock music, some of my favorite records are just like a guy and a guitar. And I haven't spent that much time in my career doing that, and it's something that I really love to do more of, so doing this show is great. Well, if you do a song where it's just you and a guitar singing it, particularly most of my songs that weren't written that way, it kind of becomes a different song. And I sort of have to go by the rule that if it's a good song with a full band, it's going to be a good song some other way. And some of those songs just immediately translate to picking up a guitar and playing it and singing it. Some of them you kind of have to work it out. Like Black Hole Sun sounds fine just normally, but a song like Original Fire, for example, it's just a straightforward, aggressive rock song with kind of crunchy guitars and a heavy rhythm section, and so that took a little bit of homework to not make it sound absolutely ridiculous on an acoustic guitar. I think a song like Original Fire, it owes so much to the history of rock music. It's something that even though if you put your own twist on it, it's sort of easy to relate to, and everybody kind of gets it. It's not a song that I would put on my Sgt. Pepper's record, but I like it just as much as anything I've ever done. Probably my first and foremost musical influence was the Beatles, where not knowing it at the time, being like 9 years old, not knowing who wrote what, if it was Paul singing it, if it was John singing a song, if it was George, I didn't know. I just thought that's what a rock band is. You do whatever you want, you sing differently for different songs. Paul McCartney, who's someone as a singer, I think is kind of looked over because he has so much talent in other places. A guy that could sing a song like Yesterday and then turn around and sing a song like Helter Skelter, to me that doesn't happen that often. And I feel like I owe a large part of my career to kind of just accepting rock music that way and never thinking that it was supposed to be any way differently. And also, as a singer, a lot of my influences came from rock singers, but a lot of them came from like R&B and soul singers, where I wasn't necessarily as much of a fan of those records, or maybe not even as much of a fan of those songs, but in terms of the singing and the soulfulness and the unapologetic approach, that it's something that's always been pretty moving to me. Redemption Song is a song that I've heard throughout the years and have never been a huge reggae fan. Although I was in a reggae band once or twice, I think, in my life, it wasn't something that I immediately gravitated toward, being like a white kid from Seattle. But every time I would hear that song, it just kind of gave me chills, and it's something that it transcends genre. I think Bob Marley also is another singer that, because of his talent and his persona, has been sort of overlooked as a singer. His approach to singing his different songs, the subtlety of it, and the humanity of it is genius. So I just started playing that song fairly recently and did it live, but acoustic the same way at a couple of Audioslave shows, and just, it's one of those songs I'm a fan of and love to play it. The new Audioslave record is called Revelations, which is also a title of one of the songs on the record. It's our third record, comes out September 5th, and it's a very different record than the first two. It's certainly more aggressive, certainly more up-tempo from beginning to end. Actually, it's the first record we've done where we had the ability to do several of the songs live before we recorded it, so it has a bit of that feel. We kind of stretched out with influences a lot. We have a kind of natural ability to incorporate funk, R&B, soul music into what we do, but we haven't done it a lot, and on this record we just kind of went in that direction more so, and it's something I think we do naturally. It's also a record, I think, where it's less polarized like our first two records were, with very hard, edgy rock songs and then some very somber melodic songs. This record, I think, from song to song incorporates both sides of Audioslave that way, which I think kind of makes it more, an